Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX, and welcome back to a random cutscene already in the video. But yeah, welcome back to Okamiden. In the last episode, we met Karao, and things seem pretty. Well, we have to go rescue Jen, or Jen, or Gen, or whatever you want to call him. I still don't know. In the ruins where Karao is apparently from, because he's apparently from the moon. So our new partner is from the moon. But all of a sudden, Dark Shadow starts killing people. Well, not killing people, but cursing people. So poor Cyan City, you know, we just expelled all the demons, and now once again the people are cursed. Well, shit, that only took like they had like one episode of peace there, before all of a sudden things just went to hell once again. But apparently he's already tried to cure. Boy, Dr. Bluebird, you are fast. Yes, I'm just gonna call them that blatantly now. That was on purpose this time. But that's Kagura's father. Even Kagura's father has been. Hey, Kagura! Hey, Kagura's back! Yay, she's back. Goodbye, Karao. We don't need you anymore. No. Unfortunately, you might see where this is coming. Although this is where things get a bit weird, because we dropped her off last episode, and like I don't know what the time frame is supposed to be for here between like when she met Karao or something, but it seems like it was right away. So you know, this seems like it's like a matter of mere minutes after we dropped Kagura off. But apparently she's already trained enough to apparently she's already learned how to become a Miko. So apparently. Spiritual training takes only apparently like 10 minutes, because that's pretty much the span of time in game where you can go from dropping Kagura off to getting this cutscene. Like, it's probably about 10 minutes, so it's this is one of those things I'm like, okay, the pacing right now, the whole time frame, really freaking weird. But that whole thing about King Fury wanting to kidnap Kagura and, you know, you and steal her Miko powers, yeah, we're already getting back to that, because King Fury is once again, I mean, you know this Dark Cloud, it's King Fury, and he's back, and not only has he cursed everyone in Cyan City, including Kagura's mother and father, and not only are they facing mortal peril because they're about to die once again, but now he's showed up, the Miko powers are there, and he's going to kidnap Kagura, because of course the other woman character in the game has to become the damsel in distress, which apparently seems to be how it works. Chibi tries to save her but fails. So now we have, the ante has been raised, guys. Not only do we need to rescue Gen, not only do we need to stop King Fury from discovering what he's trying to get in the ruins, but he's also kidnapped Kagura, and all of the lives of everyone, including Kagura's father and mother, are now in mortal peril. And we got Bluebeard. That one was not on purpose. He can't save everyone. He's failing his duties as a doctor, but unfortunately it's a curse. I mean, what can you do against freaking King Fury, dude? You're just a doctor. But he's going to try to keep people from getting other people from getting cursed, while we go stop King Fury and save the city once again. Poor Cyan City, man, it just gets such shit luck. It gets cursed Okami, and not only is it in peril once in this game, but twice. Cyan City gets crapped on twice in this game. So, especially Kagura's parents, boy, they got the short end of the stick, that's for sure. But apparently now we're going to make our way to the ruins, and that is precisely what we're going to be doing in this episode, guys. We're going to make our way to the ruins, and from there we're going... although first I'm going to pick up a few things. Where am I... I'm going to go ahead and... yeah, like I said, I'm going to get a few things. I'm trying to find... There we go. There's Dr. Bluebird. I was wondering where he was. I just want to talk to him just for the sake of conversation, and these people over here. You know, just extra conversation. In case you guys were curious, I suppose. I don't know, not really that important, but sometimes I just like to show off the major characters' conversations because it's interesting. Anyways, like I said, a few things I want to wrap up. First of all, as you guys remember, I need to get those beads because I couldn't upgrade the beads because I didn't have enough demon fangs. And I can also take this opportunity to show off both the beads and the how the beads were. The rosaries, that's what they're called, the rosaries. I remember now. How they work in battle, and also how Karao operates as a partner. So let's go ahead and do this fight. I remember this fight's the one with the fire eye and the clams, so we can get a lot of demon fangs in this one if we do it properly, and that's precisely what I'm going for. So let's quickly go ahead and fight these guys, and ow! As you can see, the problem with the beads is they don't stun the enemies. So while I'm doing this combo, I'm just getting the crap beat out of me. Like I can't, like, you just cannot pull off a full combo. I'm already half dead just from taking so much damage. So as you can see, I don't like the rosaries. I don't know if like I'm doing them wrong or something, but I just can't seem to find a way for them to work out very well in this game, unfortunately. And is this guy ready? I don't think he's ready to be. No, I guess he's not. He's faking being gray. You, sir, are a liar and a fraud. But I'm taking a lot of. I'm actually really low on health here. No, that's not. That's really annoying when the fire comes out of nowhere. Like there's a problem when they drop, like when these clams drop stuff or when there's fire in the way, is you can accidentally, when you're trying to bloom something, end up doing the water thing instead. Because if you try to do a bloom and any water or fire is in the way, it'll act like you're doing water spout or inferno instead, which is just really, or if you're doing the power slash too. So sometimes the elements can really get in the way, and that's really one of the major flaws of the controls, is that sometimes, like I said, the elements, they can actually get in your way and cause some problems. Anyway, as you can see, my health is pretty low. I have the annoying beeping again, but luckily I'll just get some health from these guys, and we'll be okay. I'm just gonna go ahead. No, come on, let me freaking. That's not what I want to do, game. Annoying, indeed. But we'll go ahead and kill this guy, get a demon bone, and then as you can see, Karao. I haven't really got to explain Karao yet. But his partner attack is him doing a flute song, and the notes damage everyone. Of all the partners in the game, Karao's is by far the weakest one. It doesn't really seem to hit anyone for that much damage. Like, they're very slow projectiles. They don't really accomplish that much. Now I'm going to kill this guy with a water spout and then use the water spout again right away just to get the demon bones from him. You can also do that as well. You can double water spout, because water spout does do damage if it's their weakness. That's the nice thing about it. So, there we go. It took a lot of damage from that. As you can see, rosaries aren't that good. And Karao, in general, he's not a very good partner. He's an interesting character, but in terms of combat, he's not really that useful, in my opinion. He's probably the weakest of all of them. So, I don't know. I don't really necessarily recommend you. You have to use him, obviously. There's no optional partner choices. You can't choose which partner you want. But he is probably the weakest of them. But lucky for us, the partner attacks aren't really that big of a factor in terms of fights. Most important is really you controlling Chibi. So even though he's a weak partner, it's really not that big of a deal. Anyway, I'm quickly heading over here because I should have got this last time. I kind of did things a bit out of order when I did all the side quest stuff. But there's actually a leaf pile over here, and I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to go ahead and use Fire Burst on the leaf pile. And I'll actually be able to get a mastery well ahead of time. So, I may as well take care of that now. We're going to reach a point where there's going to be a ton of extra masteries to get around the world, and I'm just going to go ahead and get as many as I can now, just for the sake of getting them. There's also a few trees that bloom over here, so we'll go ahead and pick up some extra praise. Very insignificant, probably won't make a difference in the slightest, but it's still extra praise, and that's always a good thing. So we'll quickly go ahead and Fire Burst this leaf pile, because that's what we do, and pick up what's underneath it. No, I said... Gah! This is the time when all these brush skills just do not want to work well with me today. And also, we burned the trees. So all those trees we bloomed, we just killed them. But then the power of life brings them back to life instantly. So unfortunately, you cannot permanently kill trees, but you can burn them if you want like some extra food and ink, even though it costs ink to destroy them in the first place. A lot of ink if you don't have a fire source. Actually, I don't know if Power Slash would kill them too. It probably would. I should probably try that at some point, but I don't really particularly care because it's not really that particularly important. But anyway, we got ourselves what we needed. So the only thing I need to do before we head to the next area is stop by Yakushi Village and pick up stronger beads. Even though, like I said, I'm never going to use them, I will, for the sake of completionist, and just in case for some strange reason I want to be suicidal and use them. So we will do just that, and we're going to go ahead and jump through the roof, because that's always a fun time. But yeah, cut to Yakushi Village. No reason to sort of keep just show the walk back. You guys know how to get there from pretty much anywhere. I mean, obviously, you just need to go into a shop. Not really that hard. But we'll head over down here and we'll pick ourselves up the beads that we need, because now we have enough demon bones. And we won't need to upgrade for a while. So even though I'm low, and I'm pretty much low on everything, and actually I'm pretty sure we don't need demon bones anymore. So I don't have to worry about demon bones at all anymore. I think, if I remember correctly. But we'll have plenty of time to get the rest of the demon skins at some other point. This will give me a lot of enemies that we're going to encounter that drop them, so I'm not too worried about them at the moment. For now, we're just going to, and we're not going to be able to buy anything, upgraded weapons for quite a while, so we can sort of let the whole demon thing rest. I mean, obviously I'm going to still collect them as many as I can, but no reason to grind for it yet. And the gate is on fire! The gate is indeed on fire, because of course, we have to find some excuse for why we can get live through here. So what better than to burn down the gate, because that makes perfect sense. Obviously, water spout is the technique to do here. Water counters fire, just as fire apparently counters water. And then from that, we'll be able to move on and access North Ryoshima Coast. We have stuff in Ryoshima Coast, and now it's finally time to head to North Ryoshima Coast, Not really much to do here, due at North Ryoshima Coast. It's a very small area compared to what it was in the original Okami. They pretty much just like shrunk it down like a lot. Although I guess North Ryoshima Coast was never really that big or important back then either. But we're gonna head over here, and really all it is as you're gonna see, it's just a site for these runes that you can see way in the back there. You can see sort of like the runes of lightning pouring down from the sky. That's really creepy. A bunch of runes of lightning all constantly pouring down from the sky. That is a bit creepy and it's interesting to examine. You can kind of tell, I guess, what. Well, you'll be able to tell, and something that's going to be important in that dungeon, obviously, is, well, you can see it. However, I won't say what the brush skill is. You might be surprised what the brush skill ends up being in the runes, because, you know, all the dungeons tend to have one. We're going to head up here first, though, just because we're going to get a little bit of backstory, and there's also a masterpiece to get up here, so it is worth our time to quickly stop up here and see what we can get. So, boom goes that thing. It's going to lead us over here to where I believe this is a masterpiece. No, it's actually an Infinity Stone. I lied. So we get Infinity Stones. What they do is they just give you unlimited ink for a little bit. I fell down. Come on. But yeah, unlimited ink if you need to. Not really that important. It's not. Well, actually, I guess I lied. There are going to be times where the Infinity Stones would be pretty useful. In fact, I can think of a couple of situations where I would want to use one of those. And I probably will at those times just for the sake of having them. But for now, we're going to learn it. This is the gravestone we saw way back at the beginning of the game. The broken gravestone, Sujawara's grave, and it is indeed destroyed. And that is worrisome because, and this is why King Fury, aka Sujawara, makes a nice villain for Kurao. Because if you look over there, this looks rather, as he's going to explain, this design of this symbol. This happens to be, he's just like him. So Sujawara also came from the moon. So Kurara, yes, it's like Yu Yu Hakusho. Kurao came from the moon, Sujawara came from the moon, and thus this makes a little more sense why they end up being he's a better villain, because, you know, they're both from the moon. It's Battle of the Moon People. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. But what exactly is he doing here? Why did he die? What made him into King Fury? What is going on here? Well, the plot will obviously explain more of this later. For now, what we need to do is head to the runes. He's trying to find something in those runes, though, and if he is from the moon, he would obviously know how to use that technology, and who knows what kind of crazy technology them moon people have. They do seem well advanced for their time, that's for sure. Especially with the fancy design. I mean, you can see this like very futuristic design of the runes, but I can quickly go ahead and uncurse this area just to get some extra praise. And is there a treasure in this one? I don't remember. I don't quite remember off the top of my head. Do you have treasures? No, you do not. But there is actually one over here. You have to head behind the gravestone, and you'll find yourselves a nice fancy rock. And we know what we do with rocks. We power slash them in the face, because that is what you do to every rock you see. And under here is going to be a hidden passage, and in the passage is, I believe, going to be the masterpiece we're looking for. If I remember correctly, and I am correct indeed. It is a masterpiece part 4, in fact. We will get the rest of 3 later, so do not fret. It is kind of odd that we're getting at least one from 4 suddenly. I think we've got like the 3rd one from 4 we have already. I think we have 4 from 3 and 3 from 4. Ironically, actually, that's kind of funny how that all turned out. But yeah, we're kind of getting the masterpieces a little bit more out of order, but the order will be reestablished soon enough, and eventually we will get the rest of the masterpieces part 3. Although out of all the masterpieces, part 3 is definitely the least important. Although I mean, you do need to get all of them to get prizes at the end anyway. So you should get every masterpiece, but the prize for Masterpiece Part 3 alone is probably the least useful of all the prizes. Maybe the first prize, that Revenge Slip, is bad too, but that thing's worth a lot of money, so I guess I can't say it's that bad either. Anyway, as you can see, there's bulldozers, and they're possessed by demons, so we have to fight the demons in order to exercise the bulldozer machines. Kind of a bit odd. Come on! Again with the freaking... Come on! Stop being crazy. Oh wait, if you drop 2 lines, it actually negates the fire. Well, there we go. Actually kind of fixed it. The guy sort of dodged the bomb somehow. Kind of a bit odd. Now, as you can see, they drop fire, and the enemy is a fire eye. So, unfortunately, this isn't going to work very well in our favor. Alas. So we're going to actually fight them all normally. The fire that they're dropping is absolutely useless. I hate fire eyes. They are so annoying. We don't have a source of water. And can we just get a proper draw? God, I can't draw for shit today. That fire is definitely gonna hit me, I think. Come on, dodge. Yes, I mean, it didn't hit me. Nice. So we're gonna go ahead, throw a cherry bomb down, destroy this guy, get him out of our way, and then we'll just deal the fire item. At least we can get a couple demon skins out of this whole deal, which is good because I will need demon skins, like I said, in the distant future. Nothing too soon, but, you know, it's nice to have them. I think, if I remember correctly, I've done, what, 20 and 5, so I think I need another 20 demon skins, which really should be no problem at all to get. It should not be that big of a deal. Really, the demon livers are probably going to be the hardest one to get, because you don't encounter enemies that drop demon livers for quite a long time from now. It's well into the end game, actually, before we get those. Although, I will say, what I consider to be the end game of this game is extremely long. Basically, there's one point where all the side quests end, you just sort of get a bunch of plot, and I consider that to be the end game, but it does drag on for quite, because, you know, it is past all the side quests, but it does take a very long time. Like, it's barely over half. We're about almost at the halfway point, if not at the halfway point around now. So I would say the game's about maybe half over. It might be actually, you know, I'd say probably a few more episodes before it's about half over. We're getting pretty far though, but there is a lot to come after all this stuff happens. Anyway, we still have 2 more fights. Sort of what's going to be dragging the episode on for so long is all these cutscenes and all these fights just in this episode for once. Although we haven't had, when's the last time we had a fight? It has to be like at least 2 episodes or so. So I guess it's nice to have some combat again. These guys are nothing new yet, though, but there will be some new enemies in the new area. Do not fret. The new enemies are coming soon enough. For now, we're just going to destroy this blue imp. We're going to slash him, even though it just gives us demon bones. I just want to get them. Why not? I'm pretty sure there's no use for demon bones anymore, though. I'm fairly sure that we've gotten everything we need from them. 20, yeah, it's 40. You need 45 total. It's 10 for the to upgrade your first weapon. It's 15 to upgrade. It's 20, I mean, to upgrade the glaive, and it's 10 to upgrade or 15 to upgrade the rosary. Yeah, 15. So 10, 20, 15. That's 45. That is all you need in throughout the game. I do know you need 45 demon bones, 45 demon skins, and then 40 demon livers, I believe, total, in order to get all the weapons of the game. So we do have no need for demon bones. I'm just sort of getting them for the sake of getting them. I believe, actually, you do. There is a way to sell them for money later on in the game. It's one of the Kushi Village side quest rewards. Is you get a guy who you can actually sell demon bones to for cash. So, I guess if you do want to collect them, they can be worth money in the future. Although by the point you get him, you really don't need the funds anymore. By that point, I should have all the major purchases. So I really am not too worried about getting that guy. And there we go. There's a Masterpiece Part 3 right there. So now we have 5 Masterpiece Part 3s. And over here, interesting enough, there's that's a treasure chest, but you can only open it using lightning. So we don't have any way of controlling lightning quite yet. Obviously, the source of lightnings are going to be those guys right there. But we have no lightning skill at the moment, so we'll have to come back here later. Like most of these areas, you know, the first one you can get, the first treasure you can get, but then they have a second treasure in the back that you can't get, and then you have to come back later for it, which is kind of obnoxiously annoying, but that's just sort of the way it works. Anyway, one more of these possessed diggers to take care of, a bit of an odd thing once again, these diggers. But it's going to be an ice guy and a clam to get fire from, so we can easily get the fire. We won't have to use Inferno in this fight, luckily, which is kind of nice. Although, what I should have probably done is I probably should have used Inferno just to stun him for a while, because he's going to be really annoying shooting all this ice while I'm trying to fight this thing. And then I get frozen. But it doesn't matter if I'm frozen, because I can still bloom things while I'm frozen, ironically enough. So, really no skin off my back. It just means I'm taking a little bit of damage, which does sort of suck, but, you know, in the long run, it's all A-okay. Freeze isn't, each element has a status effect. Obviously, fire does continual damage over time. Ice freezes you in place and makes it so you can't move, but you're immune to damage. And then lightning, when we reach it, it will also basically prevent our movement, but it will still leave us open to attack. So lightning is the most dangerous of the status elements, which is why we haven't seen them yet. I guess if you call them status ailments. So that's why we haven't seen it. It is the most dangerous, because you can still get damaged. While as you can see, when you're encased in ice, you can't really take extra damage. But we'll encounter that soon enough. But yeah, so there's an explanation, I guess, of status ailments, since I haven't really done that before. But using the fire, we can go ahead and get a demon skin from the ice slopes, which is great, because I do need more of those. And that will be the last fight of the day. So there we go. Get ourselves a nice green tree reward. Get some extra cash, and now we can move on with the plot, because all the diggers are depossessed, and that is A-okay with me. So now that we can continue onward, really all that's left to do before we reach the dungeon, it's actually right up there, is we're going to have a cutscene coming up that's going to take up most of the rest of the time, because it's a long episode, but I really wanted to make it to the dungeon this episode. I really just wanted to, you know, get through all this side questy stuff and just make it to the next part. where all the nice fun things will be able to happen. But first, as you're going to see, there's a cliff there. So how are we going to get across? Well, remember how I said that every partner has their unique way of walking? You know, Kuni was normal, Nanami could walk to have the whole water thing, Kagura could walk on the spirit floors. Well, it turns out Kurao can levitate. Yes, he can levitate. Kind of a bit odd, but that means basically pits are no problem for him. He can basically levitate over them, and then once you're on solid ground, you can use the vine to get over there. So in terms of walking around the field, Kurao is obviously the best one because he has the ability to levitate across things. I mean, how freaking awesome is that? But suddenly, out of freaking nowhere, it's Isun. He's back after how many episodes? He just freaking shows up out of nowhere. Keep this in mind for very, very, very late in the game is this thing he gets right here. He gets a little UFO-looking thing from the runes, and this will actually come into play later for something that's really not that important for the plot necessarily, but just sort of endgame stuff. You'll see why later on. But Chibi and Isun have been reunited, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, where is Kuni? We still haven't found him yet. Kind of a bit. Oh yeah, he sort of died. We sort of lost him. Sorry, Isun. I got a new guy instead, though. Thumbs up, thumbs up. But yeah, also, here's another reference to what I was referencing last episode about how Isun just doesn't like this guy because he looks familiar. He looks like a certain someone he didn't like back in Okami. Yeah, another hint as to this Kurao character and his relation to someone from Okami. So, those of you who are asking in the comments if this character is in the game, here's your answer. Kind of, somewhat, maybe. Kind of a bit of an odd answer, but this whole connection will be explained more and more later on. You'll see how it goes later in the game. But for now, Isun got up. Really, all I need to take from this is that Isun, there's that little thing, and then, you know, Waka, there we go. I guess they just explicitly reference the guy, so I don't have to make the thing more. For those of you who are asking if Waka's in the game, Kurao apparently is related to Waka in some way. They look very similar. So is he in the game? Kind of, somewhat, maybe. You're going to see there is a relation between the two, but that will become a lot more clear later on. For now, who this Kurao guy is and what his relation to Waka, we're going to leave that a total mystery. No spoilers here, please. And basically we need to go ahead and rescue Jen. Inside. Why were you inside the ruins full of demons anyway? But yeah, so this guy was inside a fallen star, blah blah. This is all details we know already. And then Isun just gives us a random history scroll for really no reason. Once again, like I said last time, I'm going to read the history scrolls at the end of the LP anyway. So Isun, your history scroll is absolutely useless to me. I think you've had just go away. You're just kind of getting in the way now. If you're awkwardly long cutscenes. Yeah, he is kind of he did kind of steal a blueprint, actually. Isun, you sometimes are quite the questionable character. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So he gets a what is? Did they actually explain what this is yet? I'm not sure if I should spoil it or not. No, I guess not. So we'll learn what that is later on in the game. It will be important, but not really for the plot, just for stuff. But we need to go ahead. Okay, Isun. You know, we have to go. You're wasting your time talking about some freaking blueprint thing you found, and this guy called Waka. When really, I mean, we're trying to save science. See, there are people that are dying. Kagura's been kidnapped by King Fury. He's a huge giant menace trying to take over the world. Jen is in trouble. The runes are in peril. The secrets of the runes are going to be in. Bad things are going to happen if King Fury discovers the secrets of the runes. And you're sitting here wasting your time with stupid blueprints. Freaking annoying. And a history scroll. Hurrah, a history scroll. But this is LuckySevenDX signing out. See you next time for more Okamiden.